feel extra special.
Well, we have evening students who can't always get to the morning classes, and we definitely want to provide them with the same level of information. So yeah, we're recording now for everyone. We got about one more minute before class officially starts. I usually start on time, and sometimes people get in a minute or two late. It's all right. Good morning, Marie. How are you doing?
I'm doing good, and you?
Good. I'm
Good
really
morning.
glad you're here.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right. So it's time for class to start. And so Dale, do you want to do any introductions or
I think just for the speakers, it probably would be nice. I don't actually, these two gentlemen are new to me. So if you, maybe we could start with Scott, and if you just want to tell a little bit about yourself, and then we'll go to Kevin.
Sure. Well, thank you. My name is Scott Galante. I'm a member of the Mass Hire team as a career coach. I've been working as a professional with the Department of Workforce Development for, believe it or not, 20 years. I did come on board in my mid-30s, so I had another life. So I was a professional in retail management for obviously a large supermarket retailer for many years before making that switch. It's been a very gratifying switch because I learned the gift, believe it or not, when I was in transition, that I had the ability to teach and work and coach people. So I felt this was a great avenue without going back to school again, because I loved school and I figured one bachelor's degree was enough. So I came over to workforce development, and I've been working with the general public ever since. It's been a very rewarding career. And really, it's my pleasure in presenting this labor market information workshop to you all today.
Yeah, thank you. And Kevin?
Thank you.
Awesome. So my name is Kevin Lisi. I'm the IT coordinator for the Bristol County Mass Hire. I work for Bristol County Training, which is the lead operator for the career centers in Bristol County. I deal with all things technology, including virtual workshops, so they kind of fall under my purview. You've already met Scott. I have him here with me. He's going to facilitate the workshop today, and I'm going to be here to assist if needed.
Okay, welcome. So we'll let you folks begin, and I don't know if you need to know what any of the students, what their career interests are, but I'll just let you folks do what you got to do, and feel free to, chat with the students as well.
Take it away, Scott.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Kevin, and good morning, everyone. Again, my name is Scott, and today I'm going to just provide you just a brief overview of what we call labor market information research. I find it very, very important, especially for students who are getting ready to launch a career pathway, whatever that is, to do some basic steps. And we won't get into all those steps, but basically when you work with the Career Center, we try to provide you a basic foundational step that you can follow that can lead you to the best career pathway so you make the best decision for yourself. Today, we're going to kind of review one of those steps, and that's conducting a market analysis. And we're going to be utilizing a slide presentation that we use for our customers in our Mass Hire Career Centers. And I'm going to share that with you in a moment. And what I hope to do is review some of the tools that we use. I might also mention another tool as well, or two that might not be in our general list that might be beneficial for students at the collegiate level. But we are going to spend some time illustrating one tool. At some point, we'll break, and I'd love to hear from the students. We do have limited time, so if you want to jot some ideas down, some careers that you might be thinking about investigating, that might be helpful. I'll also be illustrating an interest profiler for those of you that aren't quite sure what you want to do. I know what it's like being in school and trying to find that career pathway of study that can be rewarding and provide a good income for myself or a family down the road. So we'll kind of illustrate that as well. So let me start with the presentation here. Forgive me as I navigate. I I don't use the PowerPoint program that much, so let's see how I do. And let's see. Kevin, give me the thumbs up if it looks good. You see it?
Yep, just click right from beginning, Scott, on the first button, and you'll be in.
And slide
Slideshow.
from the beginning. Excellent. There we go. Excellent. It's been a while since I've used PowerPoint. What we're going to discuss again is labor market information research, our market analysis. This can be very, very beneficial for you as students as you're trying to discover your career pathway. And it can be very useful for any future courses that you want to take as well that can help, build the type of career that you'd like to take. So what we're going to talk about today is we're going to, again, take a look at some of the workshop goals. I'm going to help you define what labor market information is. And let's see if I can find out my pointer. So I'm going to kind of read it down, so forgive me. I don't use PowerPoint often. So we're going to define what labor market information is. And we're also going to discuss who uses labor market information. All right, we'll break this down into three groups. The job seeker, and for you, we'll call you the student in this case. We'll look at businesses, and career centers use labor market information as well. We'll also discuss supply and demand and why that's important in our American business system, but more importantly, how that relates to you as someone who is seeking employment opportunities or building a career through an education pathway. We'll also demonstrate, we'll review some of the tools that are used commonly in a career center. Some of them are available right in your own career center on campus. And we'll demonstrate one of them that is used widely across the United States. We'll try to take your questions. I'd like to have a little bit of interaction of what kind of interest that you have as far as work, and we'll try to use the tool that can provide you some exploration information as far as details on what's going to work out for you, and also take other general questions. So first thing is, what is labor market information? Well, labor market information is a collection of data analysis that encompasses many different aspects of our workforce system. If you think of the 3 points directly to the right, labor market information is used in assessing forecasted employment growth in specific industries over a period of time. And the Department of Labor, which our main office is down in Washington, will actually statistically gather information and provide that information over a 10-year period to help not just you, but other groups who can utilize that information, stakeholders, in either developing a career pathway, or if you're a business, grow your business, the operator can grow their businesses accordingly. We'll also review the occupational descriptors, that helps you project wage and annual salaries. We'll also, the labor market information can also help you evaluate different types of skill gaps, including educational and license requirements. These credentials, if you have them, can certainly assist you in being sure that you have the right makeup as a candidate for an open position in for the job title that you're seeking. So how can labor market information help you, the job seeker or the student in this case? Well, labor market information certainly can help an individual make knowledgeable decisions when exploring different types of career options. Also, it help you evaluate skill advancement and can assist with your job search abilities as you're looking for new employment or same employment or in a particular area. When you conduct a market analysis, it also helps you identify in-demand occupations. In-demand occupations, I think for someone like yourself who possibly is investing in further education, you want to make sure that the occupation that you're seeking, it's going to promise you a rewarding career that offers you growth opportunity. You don't want to invest all your money into school if possibly you don't have the best rewarding career down the end. You don't want to put all this money in and have to switch down the road again and try to go to school. You want to kind of invest everything in and try to grow from that so you have a successful career going down the road. It also, labor market information can help you evaluate and explore apprenticeship opportunities. And basically what an apprenticeship opportunity is for me is a program where you can earn while you learn. That means that you're working for an organization many times that will, you can actually get a job at and start at entry level, but they will actually pay for you to go to school. And many times this is in the vocational areas, and many areas of an organized labor, they will have a internal vocational school where you'll be in a classroom setting, and you'll also be in the field practicing your skills. And over a period of time, you will get your full credentialing and licensing so you can actually practice your skill. Many times in organized labor, these individuals will earn above the prevailing wage. Also, labor market information can help you evaluate your own skill gaps. That can be very beneficial for the adult learner as well, who might be coming in to the college to gain some other types of skills to apply in your career. And in doing so, you want to understand what your current skill gaps are in the industry that you prefer to work in. There's tools for that when you conduct labor market information. Also, the very important piece, of course, is to also evaluate current job openings that are available in your state and even regional area. We'll kind of take a peek at that as well. When you're conducting labor market information, it's also very important that you also explore the employers that you would like to work for. When you review an employer profile, it will help you understand the company's culture. You want to be sure that the company that you're going to work for, either short-term or long-term, is a good culture and fit for you. You don't want to work in an environment where you might not feel very comfortable in over a long period of time. That isn't going to help you produce long-term growth personally for you in your professional career. So it's kind of important to research the company culture. It also helps you in preparing for upcoming interviews with any prospective employers as well. And also in that step, take note of any other types of useful data that can help you in determining whether that's a good company to work for, and also help you prepare for upcoming interviews. Labor market information certainly can increase your chance of success, especially during the career pathway that you choose. Now, this particular path obviously is for someone who's trying to re-enter the workforce. So in this case, when we talk about increasing your chance of success when you're viewing this slide, we believe that when you use the labor market information, especially when you're composing a resume for the first time, or maybe you're trying to upgrade your current resume and update it accordingly, you want to make sure that you target your resume accordingly with the skills that employers are seeking that's noted in the research. You also can use labor market information that can help you prepare for upcoming interviews that you're most interested in taking, and be able to be prepared to answer questions that could be asked of you about your current skill sets. And at the same time, they might be asking you some information about your knowledge of the industry you'd like to work in. So you can take note of special job talking points, buzzwords that are used common in the type of industry you want to work in, and also take note of specific industry information. Take a look at some of the economic data with regarding the company that you're actually applying to in the industry that they're part of. Labor market information can also help you in a very important phase of the interviewing process. And those are the individuals who are actually recommended candidates and they're invited back, and they may want to make an offer. We call this the salary negotiation phase. And it's important to take an active note of some of the occupational data that's available to you with some of the labor market information tools available online. Again, the tool that we'll illustrate later on is Own It. It does have some of that data information for you. It's really important to apply all these labor market information concepts across your entire career pathway. Whether generally in MassHire, we'll generally work with groups of individuals who will generally follow one of two different career pathways. Individuals who might need some individual job coaching and follow more of a job search pathway and need coaching accordingly to actively get back into the workforce so they can earn a living. And then we also work with another group of cohorts that are individuals who are currently in transition and using this transitional time and seeking more of a training pathway. You can consider your folks that are enrolled at the college maybe following more of a training pathway. And you can use these concepts that we're going to review today to help confirm your goals while you're attending the college. Businesses use labor market information. So when you consider the American business, they actually have whole teams of people that work within their companies who will sit and evaluate all sorts of economic data. This data is used to determine the conditions that impact, for instance, hiring decisions and other business needs that the stakeholders may need in order to keep their businesses growing and moving forward and keep those investors happy. The labor market information helps businesses make informed decisions when choosing to expand business operations, either nationally, regionally, even down to the local area. So it's very important that they stay in tune with this. And again, depending on how large the business operator is, they may have whole departments that study all this type of information. And of course, businesses use labor market information to assist employment operators in determining wages that are competitive to attract good talent to come work for them. Employers spend an awful lot of resources to bring on the very best people. And part of that process is offering a competitive wage against other competitors to get that good talent to come work for them so they can provide products and services for their customers. So it's important that when you take a look at the LMI, that labor market information is used by businesses in all various fractions, just as you and I would as the person seeking employment or getting guidance for school. Now, career centers use labor market information as well. I know the college, most colleges and universities have their very own career centers. So if you have a career center on your campus, I can't encourage you enough to tap into that resource. Career centers use labor market information to assist the student, with choosing the best career pathway for you. And sometimes they'll even assist you in developing an action plan. Sometimes you have career advisors or academic advisors that will help tailor your pathway based on the type of career or employment title you're trying to achieve and get credentialing for. The Career Center can also utilize different types of surveys that can show potential skill gaps by detailing your own knowledge, skills, and abilities in a specific area that you have knowledge in. Also, it's a vital component in vocational guidance and academic environment and academic guidance and determining a successful pathway in a rewarding training pathway such as you folks are in at the college. So it's important that you do make contact with your local career center, whether it's with us here at Mass Hire, because we are open to the general public and we'd be happy to work with any of you, or make sure you visit your campus career center that, again, most colleges and universities have a career center that you can tap into for resources as a student. When you consider workforce supply and demand, I don't know if we have any business majors in the group, but workforce supply and demand, and you're going to hear this over and over again as a business major, it's statistical data that's used in determining occupational needs for a national economy broken down by state and localized regions, okay? You've heard the law of supply and demand, and it is a hypothesis that governs all decision-making in the American business system. We have a live example of that right now as we're speaking. We can look at gasoline prices, we can look at food prices, we can look at everything because you've heard it in current events today. We have a supply chain issue. So when there's a supply chain shortage, it generally forces prices up. And that's the real basic example I can get. My recommendation is look at the current events, and I'm sure you feel at the pinch and in your pocketbook when you just do some basic shopping for consumer goods. So again, that's just it in a nutshell. When you break down supply and demand, however, into workforce development and in the whole hiring process that I deal with as a career counselor, and something that you will deal with as you seek new employment, you probably are wondering, right, well, how does an employer determine the wages? Well, it is determined on some basic criteria, education, credentialing, and the amount of time spent in getting the degree, but it's also, it also proves based on the available talents that's in the workforce. So when you're looking at these two examples, the top example, you'll see that it says high demand. So when I say high demand, it's a high demand for a specific skill. But in this case, in this example, we have a very large pool of talented workers who have that skill already. So what does that mean? When you have a large pool of workers with lots of talent available, that means that the employer doesn't have to compete for that talent as much as if the pool is a lot smaller. So many times, what that means for you and I, as folks that are working people, it means that the employer may only offer a median wage. In many cases, maybe lower than the median wage, because there's a lot of talent available to fill the open positions that they have. When you look at the example at the bottom of this slide, you're going to see something very similar. Again, a very high demand for that specific talent in an individual. However, there's a very small pool of this talent in the workforce available to the employer. In this particular example, the employer now has to compete for that trained, skilled worker. And so many times the employer will offer a median wage or sometimes higher than median wage to attract that talent to come work for them. And there's many of examples that we can go through. We can show you in some of the databases on these couple of examples here. So let's just quickly pause for any questions in the group. Any questions at all?
You did mention something about businesses and entrepreneurs, and I want to let you know that we have a couple members of our entrepreneurship club present. So yeah, we have there are people here who have a definite interest in that.
And I'll give you, we'll review a resource when we come up with that for entrepreneurs, and I'll list out the website for that. We won't get into the occupational data this time, but I will certainly share that resource. I'd also highly recommend that students that are looking towards starting their own business, that they should definitely look at the small business administration, and there's all sorts of resources there put out by the federal government, Department of Labor, to help individuals get ideas and get started on starting their own business. So that's available amongst, I'm sure, other resources. As well.
Super, thank you.
All right.
What about people that have disabilities like SSDI and stuff like that, want to get off of it or want to return to the workforce? How would you be able to help someone like that?
Well, I think it's, first of all, I think it's very important that, first of all, that you probably meet a career coach. Massachusetts does provide resources to assist you in attaining that goal. I know in Massachusetts, we want everyone to feel like they're part of society and be able to work and provide a living for themselves, and also self-accomplishment as well in finding work. So my suggestion, again, there is resources, and it sounds kind of like a one-on-one. I don't necessarily, because everyone's a little different, I don't want to address an individual situation, but I think it's wise to maybe meet a career coach either at your school or maybe come down to a Mass Hire Center, and we can certainly assist you and give you some good guidance on a career pathway that might be best for you. You know, there is, again, there's resources, there's other types of training opportunities possibly, and other agencies that can certainly assist you. So without getting into the specifics of what you or the individual that you're speaking of, I would highly recommend that you reach out to maybe a staff member at your career center on campus, or come down to a Mass Hire Center. We can work with you individually. Does that sound like a plan?
Yes.
Excellent. Any other questions? Don't be shy.
I have one. How are you? My name's Peter.
Hi, Peter.
So are you the people that are on the Pine Street?
That's a great question. That is the place, but that since the pandemic, that location hasn't reopened for this operating area. You're more than welcome to come and visit our Fall River and Taunton location. However, if that doesn't work for you, as you can see, you and I are meeting virtually, and our whole staff can meet virtually just by, we use Google Meet. I know we're on Zoom today.
Yeah.
And our staff can certainly meet with you and see what kind of needs that you're looking for and give you guidance in that way. Is that helpful?
Yeah, I'm looking for a couple different, I've been out of the workforce for a few years, but like what Joe said, I'm disabled. I plan on rejoining the workforce in a couple of years and making, using my education and using what I know to gain a pretty good job in the workforce. And then retire and use my own Social Security instead of living off the disability check that I get, so there's always futures. So so you have disability services, you said also, is that what you?
Well, so what happens is Mass Hire partners with a whole mess of state agencies. We all partner together. And there could be resources from another agency that can assist you while you're still working with us at the same time, as we develop a individual career pathway for you that's custom to you, and that would be our goal for you. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir. Again, another question.
Sure.
So I'm a veteran. So do you have veteran services at your Mass Hire?
That's an excellent question. We certainly do. And first of all, thank you for your service. I do appreciate that. All Mass Hire, yes, we are. We're part of the American Job Centers across the United States, and we receive funding out of the Department of Labor. And of course, each state determines its own branding. So we do go by the Mass Hire name in our state, and we do have veterans representatives here. And we'd be happy to. First of all, we want to put you in contact with a staff member here.
Yeah.
And we would love to have you meet one of our veteran service
So,
representatives. If you have
Main
any-
offices in Taunton now, so Taunton and New Bedford, you're telling me?
Well, no, I don't want you to, it is, but I don't want you to think, oh, you have to drive there. We can, so basically Mass Hire has 16 different operating areas, and this particular area, this center services Bristol County. So we can meet with you virtually. So I don't want you to think you have
No,
to.
I can get to Taunton.
He loves cruising around.
Does he? Well, have him come on down because our centers here in Bristol are open to the public Monday through Friday, 8:35. You just might want to reach out to us.
Yeah, before coming, I
We can set
understand
up an
that.
appointment with you. Be happy to do
understand.
that.
And I do believe that they're going to be reopening an Attleboro site in the near future as well.
Right, because of COVID, I'm sorry, because of COVID.
Yeah, yeah. Now, Scott, were you by any chance going to go into the website to pull up labor market information and show these folks how to navigate a little bit?
Absolutely. Again, I was just taking questions, so I'm
Yep,
going to move
okay.
forward.
So I have one more question.
Yes.
So I'm in the transition programs to do the step up to college. I'm a registered and Mass CIS. I've already done the assessment and everything. You know, I navigated through your site pretty good. I thought it was pretty good.
Awesome. Well, I'm glad you were made use of that. So, you know, the next step is just to make an appointment with us, and we'll be happy to work with you with next steps. Thank you.
We'll have to
Appreciate
send him
that,
a
Peter.
link to the discussion board, Pete, and then he can get all the haps and the craps in our opinion.
Okay.
Excellent. All right, so let's take a look at some of the labor market information tools that are used commonly in career centers. The first one, of course, is ONET Online. ONET Online is probably a tool that's used nationally in all different types of career center settings, whether it's in your educational career center at your college campus, private outplacement, and public outplacement like Mass Hire. You'll find ONET Online just about used everywhere. Then we have Mass Hire CIS, as Peter mentioned. That is a tool that's specifically designed for our Massachusetts constituents. It is actually designed for different levels of education. Here in Mass Hire, we primarily use it here in the Bristol area as a justification tool for individuals who are submitting a eligibility application for training assistance. We also have the Massachusetts Labor Market Information website. It's an excellent site. I will quickly just peruse the site so you're there. We won't go spend any details to it, but I do want to point that site out to individuals who are entrepreneurs. They can get some excellent labor market information data as it pertains directly to the Massachusetts economy at that website. Also, we have the other areas is using your favorite job search engines. We listed these three because if you are a full subscriber to these sites, you can get some additional labor market information out of it, such as median salaries or whatnot. But this is obviously a very short list. See, obviously we have Glassdoor, Salary.com, Indeed.com, but it's a short list and it kind of excludes some of the others you're familiar with, like CareerBuilder, ZipRecruiter, LinkedIn, and not to mention your state's job boards like Mass Hire, JobQuest. So again, make sure you use your search engines. Then, of course, down below we have Torque. Torque is a subscription tool. Typically, you would have to pay to use, but the Commonwealth of Massachusetts pays for the subscription service so that you can use it at no cost through your own personal JobQuest site, your own account. So it's very, very useful. It's a labor market information tool specifically designed for the mid-career professional. What Torque does is we'll evaluate your current skill sets, identify your transferable skills, and suggest occupational titles that could be very useful for you to find future employment. We'll also outline any type of skill gaps that you may have based on national data collected. It has a built-in job search engine. So with the occupational titles, it does suggest It will provide you some live Massachusetts employment opportunities. The Torque job search engine is powered by Indeed.com, Career Builder, and USA Jobs. So we do encourage its use for all our members here in our Career Center. And it's also used as a justification tool for someone submitting an eligibility application for training. What we're going to do today is I'm going to kind of outline a few of the tools here. And let's see, I have not used this site. So Kevin, I'm glad you're there. So we're going to go up here and just making sure I'm sharing the right thing.
Sometimes, Scott, it's just easier to stop sharing first and then start again on your new screen. That way you don't have any leftover Zoomies following you.
Thank you very much. So I'm trying to
Leftover zoomies. That's cool. I've never heard that. I
Made
thought
it
my
up on the
cats were the
fly.
only ones
That's
who
why,
got that.
that's why he's the tech guy. So let me see. I think this is the one I want. So everyone see that? This is ONET Online. Does everyone see that?
I see it.
Excellent.
Yes.
So this is ONET Online. It's probably one of the more popular tools used in career centers across the United States, including your own career center right on campus. ONET Online has well over 150,000 job descriptor titles that you can explore. It also provides information on tasks and knowledge, skills, and abilities, and educational credentialing needed in order to be a successful candidate under that job title. It also provides occupational data. ONET Online also provides survey information for individuals who are trying to explore what they like to do. Just to kind of review the toolbar real quick, so you can drop down here to sites and you can see My Next Move. It also comes in Spanish, and My Next Move for any of our veteran members as well. What we're going to do, however, I'm going to just quickly go down. We have a shortcut here. The operator just recently gave this a nice refresh, this page here, its navigation. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at the ONET profiler from here. And this is the interest profile. This can be very useful for anyone who isn't quite sure what they like to do for work. Essentially, what you're going to do is you're going to answer a battery of questions, and you're going to choose whether you like it or not. Please don't skew your answers. Just because you know how to do something doesn't mean you like doing it. So choose what you like to do. I always say,
I hear that.
Yep.
I'm really good at cleaning toilets or refrigerators, but nope, don't like it one bit.
that's right. It's like Scott was in retail. He can manage a store, but does he like doing it, right? So same thing. So think that way. And see this middle one, unsure? Try not to have any unsure answers. I always like to say, pick a side of the hill and put a stake to it, because this will actually help define what you like better, okay? And then if you move forward, don't worry about the educational and training you do or don't have, and don't worry about the money. Because again, this is designed to help you to find out whether you like doing the work or not. Try not to overthink it. Remember, there's no right or wrong answers. And basically, you're going to answer 5 pages of 60 questions that are going to help give you a Holland Code score. I won't get into the details of Dr. Holland and the scoring processes, but the Holland Code is used widely in many occupational surveys that are platforms that are available to you. They come in different names or whatever, but essentially this is the shortened version. It's 60 questions, and you'll notice that there's 6 basic colors here. One's shaded a little different. Each one of the colors represents a Holland Code title. Once you have your score, and let's see if I can back this up. I usually don't do well with that. Let me just do this. Basically, when you have your Holland Code score, you can go to the ONET data menu here, drop down, and you can go to the interests. What you're going to do with your interests, you're going to browse by interest is you're going to take your score and you're going to use the filters. The Holland Code has been matched up with the job titles provided in ONET. So let's say if you're an individual who is very hands-on, that's generally someone who's realistic. And then the next code, maybe you're fairly investigative. You like to figure out how things work, and you like fixing things and all that type of stuff that, you know, you might be investigative. Again, when you take the Holland Code survey, it will break it down. We'll bring it out to the third interest. Maybe you're what we call conventional. What does conventional mean? It means we can give you a list of assignments. You can complete them. You can complete them timely. You can follow directions. That's someone who's conventional. So we're going to click on conventional. We're going to press go. The filter is going to work. And what's really nice is ONET's going to mix the codes up for you. You got RIC, RCI, and it mixes it all up for you. And then it breaks it down into job zones. What ONET does for you is it breaks it down by job zone, which is the educational level that you should have for licensing and credentialing to actually be a good candidate in applying for that type of position, that job title. So you have zone 1, which is little or no training. Zone 2, which is some training. Zone 3 is moderate training. So moderate training would be equivalent to maybe an associate's degree that you can earn at Bristol Community College possibly, or maybe it's a really in-depth vocational training program where maybe you're an apprentice and you're required to be in school so many days a week, but you're also in the field practicing your skill, and over a period of time, you earn and test and get your credentialing, and you become a fully licensed, let's say, electrician. We'll visit that one in a minute. Then you have zone 4, which is more comprehensive training. You're looking at more of maybe transferring to that 4-year school to earn your bachelor's degree. That's what comprehensive training is. And you can see all the various titles that are listed here under this Holland Code. And then, of course, zone 5, this is Master's Plus. This is probably what many of your professors have already earned. Master's Plus, master's degree plus. Maybe some of them are doctorates and have PhDs. And there's a few listed here. What we're going to do with this is you can use this as an exploratory tool. So if we're going to take a look at a title, and this is where ONET actually comes in, let's go ahead and we'll pick a hands-on position for maybe someone who likes working with their hands and they want to find a prosperous career as an electrician. I mentioned electrician because as a professional career coach, I already know we have a shortage of electricians. There's a lot of skilled labor. What people don't understand is some of the highly skilled trade talent we need. They are paying an absolute premium, employers, to have trained people with an excellent work ethic. So when you take a look at the electrician, you can actually get details from here. And you can see the one-liner at the top. And you'll find this one-liner in the TORC program. TORC doesn't give you the details of the job title itself. That's why you'll find a link in TORC that will bring you to ONET. You'll see the occupational code underneath the job title as well. When you take a look, you can take a look at the various tasks. Oh, and before I forget, I'm getting ahead of myself. You can see reported job titles. This is very important with all occupational titles you research. Remember, employers may call the job title something different from what maybe you're used to, but they have the same exact skill set to actually perform the work. So again, it's another title that you can use on your favorite job search engine. And of course, we have the summary, we have details, custom things specific for veterans, and we have the Spanish version. If you take a look, we have the contents. When you press the context button, it will actually help you navigate using the entire job ONET summary page. What I'm going to do today is I'm going to use the scroll bar on your right and move it up and down from there. Okay. When you go down, you have different subtitles. You have the tasks. When you click on the tasks, it opens it up to all 21 displayed. The little bullet points, they are bullets, but they're also exploration tools. So you can actually click on it. Maybe you're someone who likes to use a variety of tools, and you can take that little component in the list, press it, and it will give you other job titles that have that same type of task that you can explore further. You have different subtitles all the way down. I won't open them all due to time, but you have technology and skills, work activities, detailed work activities, and work context. This is excellent for an individual who's trying to explore a specific job title. I happen to like work context myself because it kind of outlines what your day could look like on the job. What happens is this organization has sent out a survey to various respondents. They've sent it back and they've categorized what each of them do on the job. Now, not all job titles have this, the majority do, and I think it's very useful for exploration. You have the job zone. Again, the job zone is the education and credentialing needed to be a successful candidate applying for this type of job title. And this specific one is medium preparation. Training and credentialing. You can look up training and credentialing by state, which is very helpful. I'm sure you can find Bristol Community College on this list for various types of credentialing and different job titles. And then you have the knowledge, skills, and abilities. This is very important. These are the hard skills that we state in the career centers that are absolutely needed to be a successful candidate. Again, don't forget to open up the subtitle so you can explore. And remember the little plus. This can help you explore different types of titles that might have the design knowledge that you seek as an occupation. The education tab, again, tells you what the lay of the land is for other people who are currently working in this field. 59% have some sort of post-secondary certificate, and it's required. Most of them have a high school diploma or equivalent, okay? The other thing with an electrician I'm going to throw out there is you have to like math. You have to know how to do codes.
Aha, now we know.
So coding is very important. I have a good friend of mine who has been a professional in this field for years. He started teaching at Tri-County Vocational, and now he works at JATC in Boston. That's the IEBW's training school. And you know what he does? He does the whole math component. That's what he does. They go, how did you get stuck with that one? So math is huge.
Tri-County, Franklin, Massachusetts.
That's correct.
I went there.
So then you have work values. This is what you give. Actually, we have the interest code. This is the Holland code, RIC. And again, there's a quick link to visit the profile survey if you need to. Again, if you do the profile survey, I highly encourage all of you students to save it as a PDF so you can keep your scores. It doesn't memorize it unless you're going to write them all down. Otherwise, to use the tool, you'll have to take the whole survey all over again. You have work values. This is what you give back to the stakeholders. That's maybe the owners of the business or the customers that you serve. And work styles. Work styles are soft skills. Soft skills are very, very important to the employer. As a career coach, I'm going to warn you right up front, you're probably going to get a question during your interview that's going to reflect on your soft skills. Like, how about a real basic question? Why should I hire you? It's not any basic than that. Or how about this one? If I ask your former colleagues or cohorts at your former business, how would they state your work ethic? What's it like? Right? You have to come back with a pretty intelligent answer. So ONET can provide you some great soft skilled answers to kind of answer back with, like you're dependable, you have great attention to detail, you're a great analytical thinker, and you have great social
Do your best not to
orientation.
laugh, right? While you're answering it. Do your best not to just start laughing really loud.
What was that? I apologize.
Do your best to not start laughing really loud when you're trying to answer this question.
Well, yeah, I wouldn't laugh, but because it is a serious question. It's designed to throw you off a little bit. So you're going to get some real basic stated questions in the interview most times. And then out of the blue, they're going to throw this at you and they're going to see how you react. They're going to see how you are with stress, right? It can be real stressful if someone throws something out of the blue at you. Are you able to navigate around that? And it's actually very simple. They're just trying to find out what your soft skills are. Basically, what is your character in the job? And I think it's a legitimate question. So I think being prepared is really going to help you. And I know generally that people that can really shine on character, the employer is willing to actually take a shot at you because that means you're probably teachable than someone who doesn't have the soft skills. You want to make sure if you're going to pay someone, they have a good work ethic on your team and doesn't distract others who are already on your team, right? So it's actually very serious point of the interview. So it does throw you. I would probably go, wow, where did that come from myself? But I would try to control that because it is a very important piece of the interview. Does that make sense?
Yeah, Scott?
Yes.
I just want to mention something, but if I was going to be an electrician or work in this field, and
Yeah.
I was going to develop my resume, I would pull something like this up and just look at the job description of some of the duties and the soft skills that are here, and I would make sure that I put those on there.
So, and I'm glad you brought that up because when I usually coach individuals, if you're an individual that doesn't even have a resume and you need a basic foundation to start from, start with tasks. If you have the full training and you completed your credentialing, you don't have a formed resume yet, there's nothing to say that you can't come over here and do an old cut and paste and put this on a Word document and customize it to what you actually have. This will help you get started. You can do this for all the different sections in here. Your soft skills, your knowledge. Maybe you have building and construction knowledge.
And you just hope that they're not lying about the scaffolding and ladders part. You just hope that they're not lying about that.
Well, that's very true, and that's something that we do teach in the career centers. Is you don't really want to what's the word I want to use?
Over embellish.
Yes, you don't want to embellish your resume. It sounds so much better than lying. I always say cut and paste. And when I say customize, make sure you go through the list, make sure you can say you can do what you can do on that list. And it's always wise to customize it to you, put in metrics, because honestly, that's what metrics is what's going to sell you. They want to know that you can do the work, you can walk your talk, right? So this can help you with a great foundation on your resume. But again, when I say customize it, you want to tailor it and make sure you can do what you can say you can do on the list. Don't embellish it because that can get you in trouble. All right, so moving forward.
What do you mean you don't speak Chinese? Come on.
I don't. All right. So again, sticking with the next section here, you have work styles, and here's the most important part. All right, this is why you go to school for the credentialing, is because when you complete it and you're fully licensed in what you do, what is the potential earning? So let's take a look at electrician, and then I'm going to show you a couple other job titles. Actually, you guys can throw out a job title if you'd like in a moment, but let's finish up the electrician one. I already told you there's a huge demand for people in skilled labor today. So if we open this up, we're going to select the Commonwealth of Massachusetts here. And this is very good if you're going to move outside the state, so you know how to bid if you're going to move to a different region of the country. You can put zip code, but I'm going to show you a shortcut to that without putting in your zip code, because they already have it regionalized within the program. You're going to see that the median salary for an electrician is about $76,000 a year. That's pretty good cash, would you say? Mm-hmm. Not bad. The hourly wage for the prevailing hourly wage is $36.53 an hour in Massachusetts. A lot of you are like, well, Scott, how do I get to the 6149 way up here? That's what I want to earn. That's your organized labor. So the prevailing wage, if you work for, let's say, the Boston local IEBW local 103 in Boston, they start, once you're fully licensed as a journeyman license, at 55 an hour. That's how you get up there. So that's nice. I wouldn't mind earning that.
That's
myself.
not too bad for crunching numbers and crawling into small spaces. That's not too shabby.
That's not bad at all. You have to, now it's electrician. You have to be good at math. So when they said that, I said, no, I don't know if that's for me.
Hey,
Okay.
Scott,
I would assume you'd have to be rather dexterous too, right? Because you've got the pliers and the small wires and stuff.
Well, and that's why you take the interest survey. You are going to find out your likes and dislikes. Someone who's ambidextrous is realistic.
Right.
When I'm meeting and I'm coaching someone, one of the things I ask is, hey, what did you do in high school back in the day? And they say, well, I played sports. You did? I go, what did you do? And they give me all the details and all the sports they played. I know they're going to come up with realistic in their survey because they have great hand-eye coordination at some level. And a lot of times, a lot of these folks end up going into some sort of hands-on occupation. So again, the Holland Code, that survey under My Next Move, can be very useful to help navigate your pathway. So, all right. So
Scott,
go ahead.
I have a journeyman in electrician and plumbing.
You have your journeyman? You
Yep,
said?
in plumbing and electrician.
You do.
Yes, I do.
Awesome.
Yeah,
So
but it's part of the field that I'm going for. I need it. So
wonderful. Well, I hope you get there quick, because you're going to make some excellent money when you get there.
well, my starting salary is going to be about $175,000.
Wonderful. I should have gone that route myself.
And
But I
Peter's
didn't.
in our entrepreneur club, so he could actually
Yeah.
maybe start his own company and have a number of electricians working under him.
And
So
you
I
know
also
what?
I also go to MIT too during the week. I took 3 weeks off right now to finish up my high school diploma and stuff like that. But I also go to MIT.
Wonderful. Well, I think your instructor stating that you want to open your own business.
Yeah.
You're obviously pretty good at math. So
I
that's
actually
excellent.
have my own business, but my own business is what I'm skilled at. But I haven't done it for a couple of years because I'm going back to school here.
Yep.
Like I said, when I go back to school, because I've been disabled for a few years, been in a wheelchair that I could not imagine. But the problem is I want to be able to make work for a couple of years for some good money so I can retire. Because at 49 years old, I didn't think I'd be able to retire.
Well, I think there's a lot of different things you can evaluate, and when you meet one-on-one, I think you have a lot of you have a lot of skills you can cross, maybe be a cost estimator and all that type of stuff, work in an industry where you're doing more desk work instead of actually being in the field based on what you're managing, right?
I brought a lot of those skills, what you're talking about, to make the career pathways, to make the big guy. You need all those little skills in order to make something good in this world.
Well, good. Well, it sounds like you have a plan.
You have to stand out. You have to stand out.
Absolutely. So let's take a quick look at some of the, so like I said, you have to put your zip code in, because by putting in your zip code, it's going to place you in a region of the state. You can see all the different regions all spelled out for you here. You have, of course, the national average, the Massachusetts average, and then it breaks down all the different regions of the Commonwealth. When you're looking up the Bristol area, they kind of put us in the Providence Warwick area. So you're going to look down in this area here, and that's usually the prevailing wage at this level. Again, when you get close to the city, it just kind of shoots right up, 61 an hour and working in the city. So
Isn't it-
Boston.
Wouldn't it be if you owned your own business, you make more than that? You make almost double.
That's a good question, only because you're seeing others, but also depends on how profitable your business is, right? So again, there's other factors that I wouldn't have access to. We'd have to kind of dig into more information on that and research.
Yeah, thank
Good
you.
question. All right, so I'm going to go to the top here and I'm going to throw in something else. I'm going to throw in maybe someone who is looking for an entry-level job and wants to become, well, actually, let me just throw this out. So I did one really in depth here. Does anyone have a job title in the class that they want me to look up? Going once, twice, I'll go to customer service. All right. we'll do
What,
customer service.
what do you mean? What we're studying in school? or-
Well, no, I'm sure people have different interests, so they might be wanting me to look at a specific job title they're interested in.
I'd like to teach American Sign Language.
You like to
Good,
teach?
Mary Jane.
So you'd like to be
Ooh,
a
sign language.
teacher?
That's a good one, Mary Jane.
American Sign Language, not just a teacher. I would
Right.
like to teach American Sign Language or a job in American Sign Language.
Interpreter, all
Yeah.
kinds of stuff if you can speak American Sign.
Mary Jane, I have a friend of mine that finished her associates, and she really didn't need her associates to do what she wanted to do, but she goes to like rock concerts and or different museums and interprets the different people, or takes people out if they need to go interpret something. There's a lot of money to be made.
Not looking to make a lot of money. I'm just looking to help people that are deaf.
So here's
I was in nursing for a very long time, and I'm unable to do nursing anymore the way that I was. So I'd like to still keep that skill set is what I'm looking for. And I figured deaf studies would be the best for me.
well, I think that's a very noble thing to do, especially where you have all sorts of medical experience working with patients. And obviously you like the social aspects. I'm sure that if we did the interest profiler with you, there's one interest code in there that you would score pretty high in, and I'm sure that's the social piece. So taking a look here, this is interpreters and translators. This is the occupational code that the government uses to track this title with the Department of Labor. And basically, this is the one-liner that you would get in ONET, TORC at the top. And then we see sample job titles that you can search for under interpreters. And you can see that sign language interpreter is listed under this, occupational title. If we go down, again, you can break up all the different areas. We're going to stick with the summary. You have the tasks involved. Again, once you're fully trained as an interpreter, you can cut and paste this to get your resume going. And again, make sure you customize it to yourself and your own knowledge and put your own metrics and successes in there. And then you have technologies and skills. This is what you should know to do the work. You have your work activities. This is what you would do on the job. And then you have detailed work activities. This is, again, for exploration. And then what your day could look like on the job. And they have sent out information to respondents, and this is how they rated each one of these tasks and what they did on a daily basis.
That is great. That is so helpful.
Yeah, really nice. They
That's
did a really nice
wonderful.
job with
Could
that.
you put the link to that particular one? Just copy and paste that link and put it in chat. That way Mary Jane can pick it up.
I got it, Scott.
Thank you very
Well,
much.
thank you.
Thank you, Kevin. I was going to ask you to do that. Thank you, sir.
I'm pretty
So-
sure we don't have this job title here yet, but I read a cool article that there's a woman in Ireland who just filed her taxes under the job title Village Witch.
That's interesting.
I was
That's great.
like, oh my God, how cool is that? So she does weddings, funerals, she prescribes people herbs, the whole 9 yards. It was pretty cool, I thought. I mean, considering you'd get burned at the stake for it 500 years ago, right?
Could be the modern day justice of the peace. Who knows, right?
Oh, well, I mean, we're not going to go down that rabbit hole right now, but I did think it was pretty cool that she was able to obtain that, in such a post-colonialist kind of, well, I guess not colonialist, but post-imperialistic area for them to be like, no, this is cool now. It's a huge kind of deal, right?
So let's take a look at the job zone. So here we have the Again, the experience requirements. So under here, they're saying considerable preparations needed, job zone 4. So class, considerable is what? When it's a 4, how much education generally?
After the associates.
Yeah.
Well, it's higher than the associates. So
Yeah, after the
That's
associates, they
a,
say.
considerable is more like a
master's.
4-year degree track.
Masters, that's it.
Masters, right?
Well, this says considerable, so this is like a 4. Masters might put you ahead of the game though. And then you can look up training and credentialing. Again, you can look that up and you can see where all the schools that offer interpreting type of classes. So that's very helpful, I think. The skills.
Oh yeah, Mary Jane, that would be cool to be a class interpreter.
Knowledge, education. So 55% of interpreters have at least a bachelor's degree. 28% have their master's. So master's, I think, kind of gives you an edge over someone else. It has abilities. So you want to have, again, you can look at your abilities, great oral expression, speed of closure. That means how fast you can speak and make sense of everything to the person you're working with. Interest. The interest code is artistic and social. Okay. Work values. This is what you give back to stakeholders. And so you like building relationships, providing great working conditions and recognition, right? You get a lot of recognition for what you do and helping others. Work styles. Again, those are the soft skills. I'm not going to open that up. And this is where rubber meets the road right here. So the median salary nationally is about $49,000. We'll go check out Massachusetts median. It's about $62,000 annually. Again, depending on where you're working, it can go as high as $128 in the experience you have.
Yeah, looks like you can do pretty good for yourself there, Mary Jane.
Like I said, I'm not trying to get rich.
No,
So
but
here's-
it's still
here's the
nice to
other-
be able to do well for yourself, take care of yourself so you can do it for longer, right?
So Mary Jane, I'm going to show you something else that I didn't show on the electrician, is you want to understand what the job is trending in the state that you're working at. Trending is the projected job openings. So, you know, you want to understand, well, what kind of competition I'm going to have once I have all my credentialing done. Okay. So if we go ahead and click on state trends. All right. So in Massachusetts, the projected growth is about 13%. That's excellent. As you can see, the little sunshine next to the title, it's bright outlook. ONET will generally show you a bright outlook if it's like 5% or more. Projected annual job openings, however, it's 400. So I don't know how many people will actually major in that in Massachusetts, but they're saying it is a bright outlook. You can compare that nationally as well on the right side. Okay, so it's very useful to use this data before you invest a lot of money, especially if you're paying for education.
That's great. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Here's the other thing here. So ONET also provides you job openings. All right. And again, it has combined different job search engines. I'm not quite sure. I do remember the drop-down menu from the old version. I believe it had Indeed.com, ZipRecruiter, and CareerBuilder all in there, along with a couple of their national search engines. But we'll go ahead and we'll
Do you feel
select.
like those search engines are probably going to end up just merging into one, though? Do you think that it's
Well, on this one here, it does merge everything into one. So let's take an example. All right, what's Attleboro zip code? 020. I'm sorry, I'm a central Mass guy. I'm not a.
02703.
Oh, nice, Scott. Where are you at in Central?
It's 02703.
02703. I live in the Milford area.
Oh, nice.
So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to press go. And let's see how go is doing. There it is. So we have some live job openings here. So we have and back in April, they were advertising for Spanish analytic linguists. And we'll click on that job and there's the real job right there. See that? Gives you all the information. It's all one stop right here when you use this tool. You can actually apply for the job frame right here and it's going to bring you to the company website. Pretty neat, would you say?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you guys did a really good job with the site. and pretty quick too, considering.
It's a nice site, but I can't take credit for it.
Oh, I'm sure there was a ton of hands that went into this because it was
I'm
kind of,
sure.
yeah,
And
it
then
was
if you
it was a
look,
crunch. It was like, all right, come on, all hands on deck.
well, it's funny, when you use a lot of these tools, it's an evolving process. This is the latest update to ONET, and I think it's been a pretty good update as it's kind of simplified some of the navigation as far as using the tool itself.
Yeah, and
If
it's
you-
malleable. It's the internet, so it, it evolves quickly, just like science, right?
Absolutely. So then down below, you have related occupations. These are related occupations by job title itself. Okay. All right. Do we have another job? Well, I can put in I'm going to put in the essence of time, I should probably put in one more job title. I'm going to suggest one for our business majors, and I'm going to kind of go through it really quick. I think one of the newest, the newer concentrations is for those individuals who might be starting off at the community college. Believe it or not, guys, you're looking at a community college grad back in the day, and I transferred to the senior college level. I was part of the initial transfer package back in the day when they were introducing that. So I started off in a community college, and then I went to another
Nice.
state university and earned my bachelor's degree. And probably back when I went to school, the biggest major back then was everyone was in business. Well, one of the newest concentrations in business today is project management, right? I'm sure you guys see a lot of that in the business department, those guys in that department. So we're going to put in project manager specialists, and we're going to illustrate that for you. And this is a brand new title. So Department of Labor hasn't received all the information, all the different subtitles. So I don't want to spend a lot of time on it. That's why I'm kind of showing this to you really quick. You can see it's considerable preparation. So they are looking someone with a four-year degree on this. And if you take a look at the wage trends, the annual here, and this is where we have a broken link since they migrated to the new platform. We'll see if they updated it. I don't think they did, but the median salary nationally is $76,000. This particular title has a broken link, but I do know where they extract the data from. The median salary in Massachusetts for this particular title is between $88,000 and $90,000 a year. And depending on the company you're working for as a project manager, there might be a bonus structure attached to it. So it's again, a useful tool. If you take a look at the growth opportunity under this particular title for trending, 6% growth. All right, so again, this is kind of focused on those professionals there that are currently majoring in the business department. So this is ONET Online, great tool. Again, what's out there for jobs, it has a great search engine. We can look up in the Bristol area here, and again, look at all the job opportunities that are available. See the titles? So again, you can apply for the job right from here, and it brings you right to the website, right to Deloitte. I know Kevin probably knows Deloitte real well, but great technology.
And just to make sure, Scotty, that we're definitely over our time limit here, but I just want to make sure that all the attendees know that just because we're showing you one site here, onetonline.org, doesn't mean that there's not other data out there. There's lots and lots of people that are working off the same data sets and even their own data sets. So we have tool after tool after tool. We like to show ONET because it's so friendly for people who are newer to LMI and for veterans of LMI. We love it a lot. And Scott, I think, just wants to show you this one last site before we wrap it up. And
yeah, thank you, Kevin. So the last site, and this is a site for our entrepreneurial majors out there in school. I highly recommend you go to this wonderful labor market information site. I do not have time to go through all the resources, but again, as I recently found out, the state has actually updated this with some modern information links to get the economic data that can really assist you, especially in preparing a business plan for starting your own business. So again, you can find state and localized unemployment rates by county and towns. You can find employment information by occupation, employment information by industry title, and also you can locate Massachusetts employment corporate employers in here, which can be helpful on a job search strategy and other useful LMI information. So
that's pretty cool. For example, if you were an entrepreneur and you wanted to open a cafe, you could look and see, do I actually have laborers that can come work for me in this location? That's pretty cool.
absolutely. I'll list one last site.
Not that I would ever open a cafe. That would just be stupid. But, you know, for example.
So, and a lot of the data, you might want to write this down. Class, if you're taking notes, you can go to the Department of Labor website and go to the occupational handbook. That's where a lot of the statistical data comes from. We don't have time to visit that site. That'll open a whole nother can of worms in another 30 minutes I don't have. So with that, I do want to just quickly go right back to the slide, if I can navigate back there. And again, those are some of the sites that are available. Ask yourself some of these questions, especially if you're someone who's already been in the workplace. Ask yourself, are your skills still in demand? Are you able to find jobs in your current occupation? How far are you willing to commute for the right kind of work? And are your wage expectations realistic? Again, that's where labor market information can help you out. Can you identify transferable skills that maybe you can use in different titles? What's your skill gaps in those areas? And where are all these jobs I'm really interested in? That's where your favorite job search engine works. And when you put all this together, do you need additional training or credentialing to help you get to your goals? Those are all important questions. When you take a look at the entire review of why labor market information is so important to you, again, starting at the top left, we kind of took a look at what labor market information, we defined that for you. Who uses labor market information? We identified some of the tools that we use in our career centers that can provide you industry and occupational growth data. It can also help you find in-demand occupations that can promise you a lasting career, hopefully, with good growth opportunities. Hopefully, when you utilize this very important step in your career pathway, it'll identify the best one for you, where you'll hopefully make an informed decision where you'll find the right kind of job for you. So with that, again, I'm going to, if you want to take a snapshot of the slide, you can download this slide presentation where you can get some of those links to some of those platforms, those labor market.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, so yeah, you can thank Kevin on that. He put a nice QR code on there. You can scan that. We'll bring you right there to our resource page and download all those tools. And
also put that link into the chat for everybody earlier.
Yeah.
And then you don't have to do that one. That's fine. I'll leave that to Kevin, but we do have surveys. I hope you guys really enjoyed. I spent a little extra time with you folks today. You guys, because you guys came up with some excellent questions, and I was really happy to get you those answers. If you have any other questions, feel free to send them around. We'll try to get that back to you. Kevin, class has been great. Instructors, it's been my pleasure presenting you today. So Kevin, I'll turn it back to you.
Thank you. It's been a
Thank you
pleasure
so
to be
much,
here.
Scott. Really appreciate your time today.
Oh, my pleasure.
Dale, thank you for inviting us. All the instructors, we appreciate being here. We appreciate what you do. Everybody loves the teachers of the world. We can't go through life in an educated way without your teachers. So thank you. We love you.
It was a fabulous presentation. I just want to bring up, we have one question in the chat box, and this often comes up because many of us, have made bad decisions in our life and end up with a criminal record. And every year we have at least somebody, you know, in that boat. And it's not always the easiest thing to find a job when you've got a criminal, you know, a criminal record. What suggestions do you have for someone like that? Can they be helped, you know, through the Career Center? Any suggestions you can kind of quickly give?
Yeah, that's a great question. I can take it, Kevin, if you want. That's a great question. Kevin's an IT guy. He keeps us running, but you know, Kevin supports a whole group of professionals in workforce development, and we're all trained to work with the general public and whatever backgrounds that they have. So people do make mistakes in life, and they're trying to get back on their feet and be a contributor to their families and society, and they should definitely reach out to a career coach. If not at your career center at the school, make sure you reach out to a staff member at Mass Hire, because we're trained to actually work with everyone in all their different situations, and we'd be happy to assist you and give you the best guidance we can to get you moving forward on a prosperous career pathway.
Yeah, thanks. It's not easy out there sometimes
it's not.
for folks like that, you know, and I know a lot of people like to give a break to somebody who, you know, is their heart and head's in the right place. So, all right, that's great advice. And this was fabulous, guys. Thank you so very, very much for coming. And we've got you recorded so we can kind of pass your information around without bothering you all the time.
You're
Thanks
very
again.
welcome.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you,
you, Kevin.
Kevin.
Thank you. Thank you for all the students. You guys stuck around. That was wonderful. Thank you guys, Kevin and Scott. It was wonderful to have you.
Our pleasure.
It was a pleasure. Bye, everybody.
Everybody have a lovely day.
See you.
Take care,
Bye-bye.
Mary Jane, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hi,
I'm
Carolyn.
gonna go clean the toilet now.
All right. Take care, Keely. I'll see ya.
They did a nice job, didn't they?
They did a super job.
Yeah, I'm so glad that we remembered to record it. But it's great, you know, and I know that